Alright, so we're back once again, and today, for a little bit of a change, I thought I would give you a gameplay, but what's the point of giving you a gameplay if there's nothing on the line? So, with that line of thinking in mind, I decided, you know what, let's put a little bit more risk into it. Let's put a little bit more, something behind it. So I thought, I have the Research Bureau unlocked, and I have several tier 10 ships, and I thought, you know what would make it interesting? Why don't I as a player, play a game live right now, and if I don't get to the average damage of the ship I'm playing, then I have to reset the entire line and grind it all again. So that's what we're going to do. Today, we're going to be playing the Conqueror, we're going to be taking it into a random battle, and if I somehow manage not to do 100k damage, well then, sadly, we're going to have to reset the entire line. So, with that in mind, let's get in the game and get to it. Alright, so we're in game now, and the first thing we're obviously going to do is we're going to get rid of that sneaky little AP, and we're going to be switching to HE. Now, the target is 104,000 damage. I think it's 104,000, I think that's the average damage for the Conqueror. If not, I'll show it on screen. It's around 104,000 or something like that, I think, the last time I checked. So, yeah, so that means 50% of players generally don't do 100k damage in the ship, and another 50% do, so basically the odds are 50-50 of me having to grind the Royal Navy BB line again, which, this was the first line I ever grinded, so having to do it again is a bit harsh, because I didn't really enjoy it the first time. Oh, sorry, the Royal Navy light cruisers were the first line I grinded to tier 10. I think this was the second line, and yeah, I have some pretty stark memories of that, but we're not going to go into that now. Instead, we're just going to focus on trying to hit ships and trying to set a couple of fires. Now, there is 2 carriers in the game, which, again, not going to make it all that much more difficult. Again, we're playing a battleship, so unless we get really heavily focused, it's not going to be all that big of a deal. Enemy Montana, Thunder, Kurfurt, Yamato, Kremlin, Moskva, Petro, Pavlovsk, Gearing, Daring, Shimakaze, Holland. The one thing I'm more worried about, though, is obviously those sneaky little torpedo DDs, which can be very threatening. That's why I'm kind of maneuvering to the middle of the map to more trying to offset that nice dispersion. Trying to offset that risk of the Shimakaze and the Holland getting to either flank, which can always be a very worrying. And as if on time, we have a Kurfürst steaming through the middle of the map. Good stuff. Now, I'm not really sure what he's trying to do, but I'm sure he's going to accomplish something soon. And again, these kind of shots right here, just as the one thing I worried would happen, happened. But it's not all that big of a deal. Again, as long as we stay much more into the central position, we should be fine. Main goal is generally just to set a couple fires right now. I don't know why this guy isn't damage conning the fire and the flooding, but yeah, there's nothing you can do. It is a random battle after all, so you get a whole load of random things happening. Some pretty decent salvos too. I mean, the Conqueror's HE is legendary. But again, I much prefer the Thunder than the ship. Now, having 2 ships in one, i.e. being able to print a new ship, is really nice, but the AP is just so lackluster on this ship that it's really hard to justify using it over something like the Thunder, which is an incredibly accurate ship. And incredibly fun to play too. So again, we're going to push in here, turn around. This eliminates generally a lot of the threat from the right hand flank of getting hit by those torpedoes again. I'm going to turn out and as our gearing goes down, and we're going to start farming some damage again, hopefully. Again, we haven't spotted the Shimakaze. Okay, the Shimakaze is on the left hand side of the map, so again, no real threat from torpedoes. We just focus on farming. The carrier is a bit of a thorn in our sides because, you know, we can't really use our concealment to the maximum, but we're at least halfway there to getting that 100k damage and not having to actually play this line again, which would be really nice, but we'll see. We'll see. Ah, unlucky. Oh, never mind. Again, I want to aim a little bit higher on this shot because, well, I don't want to be, I don't want a lot of my shells to hit this little part here. So if I aim at the waterline, again, it's not going to be all that effective. But aiming a little bit higher, it's going to be a lot more effective. You get a lot more shells on target. So again, there's a DD gapping B, so again, we're going to turn to the right-hand flank. And not overexpose this, or risk taking any serious damage. Now we do see the Montana pushing left, and that Holland is still out that flank. That's why I want to keep a screen between myself and the Holland. I'll let the Kerr first take the damage first because, well, he's a much tankier ship than I am. And at this point, if you look at an overall game state, you can see our entire left-hand flank is basically in one square, which, you know, for random battle isn't all that unexpected. Whereas at this point, I think the main goal on this side of the map is generally just to hold. We don't want them pushing too hard. Again, the longer we can hold them up, the longer it's going to take them to actually get that crossfire going onto our left-hand flank. Again, this ship is not the tankiest. That's why I'm trying to keep my distance. I'm trying to socially distance and just not catch the virus that is AP shells. Now I do think either that Daring is on that flank. Or not the Daring. Or it could be the Daring actually. Or it could be even the Shima. Because he hasn't been spotted in a while. They could all be right here spotting me, which would not be ideal. Now again, this ship is not the tankiest, so we're trying to keep distance, but again, it's not, it feels like at this kind of range you're just losing so much effectiveness by not being involved in the battle. And again, this side's completely collapsed right now, and I regret turning this way. I should have turned out this way and try to keep my distance. So what the plan is now, when your entire right hand flank collapses, you just try to make a run for it and try and farm as much damage and try and maybe hold them off a little while longer. Our left hand flank does seem to be winning the game. Somehow they're all managed to be in two squares, which again, not surprising for random battles, but it happens. It happens. It's a bit of a blind fire, but had to take the chance. We had to take the chance at hitting something at least. And again, remember, we're only 14,000 damage away. Well, 12,000 damage now, but the main goal is just not to have to play this line again and play the ship again. And I think I really underestimate how slow these shells are. In Moskva, generally, the usual lead I would give on a battleship tends to not be working all that well on this ship. It's going to be a heavy salvo. Okay, not too bad. Yeah, we're going to switch to HU because that Moscow is going to turn out, obviously. And we do hit 100k. Beautiful stuff. That means I won't have to play this ship again. And yeah, I'm kind of wishing I was in the Thunder right now, but again, what can you do? Again, we're just going to drag them, keep their focus on me long enough so that our team on the left hand flank can actually just affect the game. That's the only goal right now. And generally I think I can pretty much deal with this Moscow by myself. Again, the Holland's pretty far away, the Montana is far enough range where I'm not too concerned about getting hit by him. I think the only real risk here is if double fire. I thought that was a single fire for some reason, but again, the only real risk here is the me showing too much broadside to a Moscow. And there's the shells from the Montana, but again, they're not going to be a whole lot life-changing. That should be the kill on the Moscow. Good stuff. Good stuff. Now at this point, our team's caught up. We've dragged them this far long enough. Now we can turn back in and actually be effective to an extent. Again, 130k damage is not... it's above average, but it's a decent game, I would like to think. And we are in a winning position, but I don't like my position stopped here. It's very risky. Nice, we do get the kill. Hopefully this thunder keeps turning out. Doesn't look like it will, so we're just going to switch to HE and burn him down if we can. And again, I'm angling back out here because, well, I don't really know where the Holland is. So I want to keep zigzagging, moving about, keep changing direction, slowing down, slowing up, speeding up. And minimize the risk of just having a fatal knockout blow. That's generally... if you do that in games, generally you have a good time. You see, there's the Holland, so I know there's torpedoes coming at me. And one tip, if you're getting a little bit nice carriers, if you're getting focused by DDs a lot, just try and drive away from them. Torpedoes are a hell of a lot more difficult to hit if you're actually driving away from them. Just as I get hit by two. Beautiful. But as long as that daring doesn't kill our carrier, which it looks like he might, we should be on for the win here. I don't see much threat, really, realistically, of them catching back up to us. There goes the midway. Good to see, good to see. I'm going to heal up a little bit. I'm trying to execute a turn here. I'm pretty sure I can burn him down. Yeah, because his guns are pointed away from me, so... what with these shells? Well, my aim more than the actual shells being bad. Again, when you switch ships, there's a bit of a learning curve. So you need to take that into consideration. But, looks like my team's removing my learning curve for me, and they're going to kill the Montana. Beautiful stuff.
Good game, everyone.
So I think that's pretty much GG. We did manage to get 140k, which means beautifully I do not have to grind this entire line again. Because I'm happy with my Thunder, and, and I'm kind of happy with the Conqueror too. You get that extra gun turret, not the extra turret, but the extra gun per turret, which is really nice. And I guess I really underestimated that. So it definitely is a fun ship to play, but I don't think I would recommend grinding it, to be honest. Especially when you have ships like, again, the Thunder out there that are just super fun to play. So, summing it up, we got 143,000 damage, we got 4,000 or 5,000 XP, 1,000 free XP, 350,000 credits, And most of all, we don't have to play the Conqueror again. Even though it's not an unfun ship. So let's go over team score, detailed report, credits and XP, just for proof's sake, because who doesn't love proof? And yeah, so with that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll, this time, see you all in the next one.